we had a hell of a show, start to finish. It's a funny thing. I just said it in a Facebook deal to me that there are certain things that make over here special. This building is one of them. It's a character to me as a part of this show. This building has a lot of character and presence, a big part of the show. The fan base here and how they react to everything's a big part of the show here. But I just talked to Talon a second ago, and basically what I told them is, we keep giving them platforms to grow and show the world what was built here on their hard work, their sweat, their tears, all that stuff over the years, and how they figured it out. And now we're giving them that ability to take it to another level and putting this platform out there and this opportunity for it to be seen on a worldwide basis. And every time we do it, they're knocking it out of the park. And tonight was an example of that from start to finish. So really proud of everybody, but I'll leave it out to you guys, and we'll take some questions and go from there.
Sure. So in the main event with Joe Coffey and Walter, we did hear the chants of VAR, video assistant referee. It's here in football. Are we going to see it in NXT UK after tonight?
Yeah, no. So you got to follow Twitter. I mentioned that earlier. They were chanting it in the Trent Seven Eddie Dennis match as well. They chanted it at a point in that, and I had them tweet out something around You're not going to see that here in NXT. If you can get away with it here, it's legal. If you can get away with it. Yeah, look, I think it's a funny thing that I saw some comments on Twitter about people in the States being like, "What the hell's the VAR chant?" It helps give them some culture. The rest of the world some culture to see that there's actually a world outside of their world where different things happen. You're not going to see any video-assisted referee. But you are going to get to see what we do, which is we give you action, we give you story, we give you drama, we give you all of it. And the only replays we're going to give you are when you need to see something crazy go down and you need to see it a second time to believe what happened. Like Trent Seven getting Razor's head backwards over the top rope. Just moments that are out of nowhere that make you literally go, holy. And then that's when we'll give you the video-assisted reminder of what just happened.
Huge win for Tyler Bate tonight, and there was a lovely moment at the end with you and William Regal both acknowledging him. Can you talk us through your thoughts on Tyler and sort of tonight and that moment?
So I've not been shy about my thoughts on Tyler as a special performer, but also Jordan Devlin as a special performer. They wanted to take a shot of with Worlds Collide coming up, to get a shot with Johnny Saint, Regal, and myself watching the show. So this is a unique experience for me. I never get to watch anything WWE, NXT, any of that from the crowd. So for me to be able to sit, I sat for that whole match. I got there right before it started, and I got to sit for up in that balcony for the entire match. Man, as much as I love sitting back there and working, I'm working when I'm back there, and it's special and it's all that stuff. But when you're in that crowd, for me, to be out there, to feel that energy as a performer, that crowd was electric and they were on their feet the whole time, as something special. That match was something special because there's two very special performers in there doing it. Sean and I talked about it earlier, and as you're writing these shows, there are moments in time where you write things just for yourself. Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Bate was one of those things that you just sort of, I'm gonna book that because I want to see it. That's one of those moments.
So we had a couple of matches, a triple threat and then a big ladder match with 4 teams that added an element of chaos. How much of that is planning and how much of that is improv when they're in the ring?
As far as the ladder match?
The ladder match, as well as the triple threat match, when you add extra players, how much of that comes down to planning and improv?
Well, look, everything that we do requires a certain amount of planning and execution. As far as for the overall show goes, having triple threats and fours, you were trying to add a little bit of something for everybody. So to me, when one of the things that I really loved about tonight's show, there's a little bit of something for everybody. You got the straight match with Trent and Eddie, the triple threat with the women. You got that huge tag match with fatal 4-way ladder match with just chaos and crash and burn and just all the bells and whistles and toys that you can have in it. You got the classic wrestling match with Tyler and Jordan, and then you get the the big giant battle between Walter and Joe Coffey, and just the impact of that, Walter's chops, and just two big, huge guys going at it. There was a little bit of something for everybody. As far as the matches go, it depends on the moment, but when you have that many people in there, there's a chaos factor that you just can't really put your finger on as to what's going to happen at any point in time. Tables break, ladders give way, metal bends, ladders break, things happen. I don't care what you do, you can't plan for all that stuff. So it's sort of flying by the seat of your pants. But there's always something to me in this business that greatness comes out of chaos a lot. Really great things come out of it a lot. So a lot of times when something happens that you weren't expecting, something even better than what you had planned comes out of it. So.
Hi, tonight's show really showcased how...
This morning, I had all these guys this morning, no women. I said it when I walked in, not one girl.
No, I saw that and I was like, I should have been there. Yeah. So tonight's show showed how much talent we really have over in this side of the pond. So when you're looking at new talent to sign in the UK and Europe, is the idea now that they are definitely going to NXT UK, or there's some people that you can see I would send to Orlando instead? Like, how would you make that judgment?
Well, I think it really depends. So I don't necessarily look at it and say, well, they're from England, so they got to go to the UK, or they're from, Texas, so they got to go to NXT in the US. To me, if it's the right performer and it fits what you're looking for, all of this stuff is a mix from an entertainment standpoint. You don't want to just give one type of something. So that even goes for rosters to me. When I look at the UK, when I look at NXT, when we look at Raw and we look at SmackDown, you want to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Entertainment acts. You want to have, for lack of a better term, the cruiserweights or fly-in talent. You want to have big bruisers like Walter, Joe Coffey, Dave Mastiff. You want to have your Keith Lees. You want to have the Damian Priests and hybrid guys like that, and Dijakovic. On the women's side, you don't want them all to be. You want to have your Shayna Baszlers that are just destroyers, and then you want to have your Io Shirai's. You want to have your Bianca Belairs. You want to have a little bit of everything. Candice LeRae's, like that, all just bring a different flavor to everything. So when you start to look at it and you start to see the mix, then you start to look at, well, where can somebody make an impact? If you have 5 or 6 tag teams over here that are hot, red hot, and can all go, but you only have 2 or 3 over here, maybe there's a better opportunity for them to shine here and give somebody a better platform. So it's a balancing act, and you kind of figure it out and weigh it out as you're looking as to what's out there. Here's an epic tag team. They're from, I'm making it up, but here's an epic tag team and they're from this side of the pond, but this side's stacked. What do we want to do with them? Let's move them over here for a little bit, or do we pull somebody off of here, move them there, and give them the opportunity to come in here? Just kind of balance it out.
Things is very fluid between NXT and NXT UK.
I do, though. I don't see it fluid in that, in this moment of like a worlds collide, that's great. But if that stuff happens all the time where people are just constantly going back and forth, then it doesn't mean anything. If somebody's going to shift, they're going to shift and stay. Unless it's somebody that you're just trying to give repetitions to, or give that opportunity. Somebody that's coming new in at the bottom, they might work in the U.S., they might work a few shots here and go back to the U.S. and a few shots there. But the players at the top, I think they need to be brand specific, and they need to stay brand specific, at least for periods of time. So that means if somebody's coming over from the UK to move to the US, they're going to come over from here and they're going to stay for a while. At first we let, you saw Mustache Mountain come over to the US, you saw different things kind of come over and hit and stick. But as this has grown now to that level, I think then you want to make them that split so that you can have those meaningful moments of doing a Worlds Collide where, shockingly Undisputed Era can run in the back door and beat the tar out of Imperium, and you go like, oh my God. And now you can't wait to see what's going to happen, because a pissed off Walter is sure to be a spectacle when you see it. So you're going to want to watch. But if those things happen on a regular basis, then they don't mean anything.
So we're going to do last 2. Josh, we'll start with you at the back.
Touched on the massive ending to the show.
It's just hard for me to hear.
You touched on the massive ending to the show.
Yep.
How big a deal is it to have Undisputed Era and Imperium go at it?
I think it's epic. That's why we wrote it that way. But yeah, I think it's epic. To me, there's a moment in time. You look at the end of the show tonight, and while Imperium not successful in the ladder match, they still come across as dominant, right? So if you were to say what's the big dominant kind of faction here, you say Imperium. You think of Lean Gals, but Imperium probably, right? Like it's the biggest thing here, especially when you put Walter in that equation. To have Undisputed Era, who's been arguably over the last month or two run roughshod on everybody, both Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I mean, it's a moment. And so to me, for them to come here tonight and destroy everybody, you know hell's coming, right? And it's all going to pay off at Worlds Collide in a couple of weeks. So that to me is I want to see it. And again, at the point in time when you're starting to plan all this stuff out, it starts with, I'd like to see that. You know what I mean?
Perfect. Final question. Let's go.
And a quick one about new talent. You were talking before about people who are coming into the business. So Rich Holland today, William Regal was very, very big on him when we were talking yesterday. Can you tell us a little bit more about this guy who's crossed over from another sport?
Yeah, I mean, but if you've seen him as an athlete and as a performer, he's impressive. And you can see this, he's one of those guys that like you see he has everything he needs, right? And now he's just got to fine tune it. You don't want to give him too much too fast because you expose him. And when you look like he does, and right, like there's a moment there where if you give him too much too fast, you can do him a disservice. And they're always chomping at the bit, and you always think you're ready to go. There were moments in my career where I thought like, how can they not do that with me? It's and then when I look at it 5 years later, you go like, yeah, because I wasn't ready, and I'm glad they didn't do it. But yeah, he has a very bright future in this, and I think every single time he goes to the ring, since the time that I first met him a while ago, I just see him get better and better and better every single time he's in there. I think a year from now we'll be having this conversation. He'll be talking about Ridge Holland on a completely different mindset, because I think he's one of those rare performers of a hybrid that can come in, and to me he can work with a Jordan Devlin or a Tyler and do that style. He can also get in there with a Walter and bang at that level too. So that's a different performer, can do both, and I think he's going to be something special. So I agree with Regal's assessment.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Do one more. Let's do one more.
Any final words or one more? Okay, make it good.
Yeah.
So we saw Undisputed Era tonight. In a place like Blackpool, how difficult is it to keep that a secret from people, and how do you go about it?
So I mean, I think it's difficult, but at the same point in time, I think that it seems to me anyways, like fans for NXT, both in the US and here, they want to be respectful, I think, to what we're trying to do. And it seems almost like less that even if somebody like tended to see them here, they would be like, well, I'm not saying anything, I don't want to ruin it. You know what I mean? Like they want to be put, because in some ways, like I think there is this moment where we have said, like, NXT is your brand. We've built it that way, and we mean that. Like, that's a part of if you're watching, if you're a fan, if you're here, you're a part of this with us, and we're building it from the ground up. And I think that resonates with fans of not wanting to, like, I don't want to ruin the surprise for everybody else that's going to watch it. And I understand that from a base standpoint. When you see something exciting, you want to tell other people about it, but I've also never understood that ruining it process if you do see that stuff. But it's been one of the things that even in the US, like we do stuff a lot, and I say it a lot because there's moments in time like Raw and SmackDown, and they're bigger arenas, and a lot of times it's probably not coming from internally, it's coming from some guy that just, working security or, in the building, and they say something. But in NXT in the US and NXT here, we don't have an issue with things getting out. If people are around in the afternoon or something, it never gets out. We never see it. It's never online. And I appreciate that. And to me, I'm thankful for fans for that, because they could see it and they could put it out there, and it can ruin it for everybody. But they don't. They protect the brand like we protect the brand. And to me, that's something cool. So, thank you guys for being here. Look, I think there's a moment in time right now with the deal with BT and everything that we have going on. It's a very exciting time for this particular brand. With Worlds Collide coming up, all that stuff, it seems like it's that, another little jump off point of things happening and going to another level, and I can tell you that that's right. Knowing where this is going in the next 6 months to a year, and the things that we're working on of where this goes, where we go next, all that, it's going to be a very exciting time, and I look forward to, as much as we're growing, you know, NXT in the US to be this global brand, this will as well. This isn't the last announcement you'll see around TV deals. It's not the last big announcement you'll see on where we're going with the brand. So exciting time, and I thank you guys all for being here, and you for being here and helping us get there with this. Thank you very much. Thank you.